Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming across my channel, my name is Nancy. Please kindly subscribe, share and like my tutorials and also turn on your notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified when I upload new tutorials. So in today's class, we're going to be learning how to make these Halter Neck shirts. So if this is something you're interested in learning, keep on watching and let's get started. So this is an African print fabric and I made use of 1.5 yards. So guys, I want you to know that we'll be cutting both the front piece and the back piece of this shirt together. Now I've gone ahead to fold the fabric into two, and the wideness of the fold I used is 21 inches. If you're a plus size person, you can use 25 inches. Take note this fabric is folded into two. So since this is a shirt that has a center front, we're going to be folding the center fold of this fabric by 2 inches. Take note of that. I'm folding the center front by 2 inches, and then I'll go ahead to pin the fold so it doesn't shift. The next step is to divide this folded part into two. So since this is 2 inches, I would mark 1 inch. That's 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I marked 1 inch, and then now I'm going to draw a straight line across this point I marked. After this, the next step is to draw the shoulder line. Now take note that I'll draw the shoulder line starting from this new point. Can you see? So take note that all other measurements will be starting from this new line as well. Now I'll place my tape on the shoulder line to mark the neck width, which is 2.5 inches. For a plus size person, you can mark 3 inches, and a neck depth of 3 inches. And for a plus size person, you should mark 4 inches. Now I'll go ahead to connect these 2 points to form a curved neckline. Now from the shoulder line, I placed my shoulder measurements divided by 2, and I added half of an inch stitching allowance. From this point, I'll place my tip below this point here to mark 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to meet the neck width, and this would form the shoulder slope. So from the shoulder slope, I'll place my tape measure to mark my armhole measurements, which is gotten by dividing my bust measurement into 6 and adding extra 1.5. Now I connected the shoulder slope to meet this new point. Now I'm going to draw a straight line across this point, and this line is called the chest line. Now I placed my tape measure on the armhole line to get the midpoint, and then on the chest line I would place my bust measurements divided by 4, and then I would add extra 2 inches allowance for ease. Now I'm going to connect the bust measurement to meet the midpoint on the armhole. So basically we are not working with this armhole, it's just a guide for you to understand what I'm doing. Now from the shoulder again, I'll place my tape all the way down to mark my bust point, and the next line would be the waistline. And after the waistline, the next line is the desired length of your shirt. So I want the length of my shirt to be 25 inches, so I added extra 1 inch, which made it 26 inches altogether. Now I'll go ahead to draw straight lines across all these points I marked. This is the bust point line, this is the waistline, and this is the length of the shirt. So once you are done with this, the next step is to place the body measurements. Now on the waist, I'm going to be placing my waist measurements divided by 4. And then since I added extra 2 inches allowance to the bust, I'm going to be adding that 2 inches to the waist as well. So I'm going to go ahead to connect my bust measurement to the waist measurement. Now on the hemline, I'll be placing my hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches, and then I'll connect this hip measurement to meet the waist, just like you see me doing. So once you've completed this, you are good to go. Now the next thing we want to do is at the hem here, I'm going to be placing my tape to measure 1.5 inches to connect it into the hemline so that it has this curvy shape at the bottom. So now I'm going to add half of an inch stitching allowance to the shoulder so I don't forget to do that. So this is basically all for the front piece of the shirt. So remember that I said that the reason I folded this fabric to be this wide is because I wanted to cut both the front piece and the back piece of this shirt together. So that is what we are going to be working on now. Now to get the back piece of this shirt is very easy. So from the waist here, you place your tape measure to take the measurements from the center waist to the waist measurement. This is 10 inches. Now you divide that 10 inches into two, and that will be 5 inches. Now I went ahead to place this tape after my waist measurement to add that 5 inches. But because of folding allowance for the center back, I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches, which would make it 7 inches altogether. And then I went ahead to place 7 inches. Make sure you do exactly the same thing for your own body measurements. Now I'm going to draw a straight line across this point I marked. So this extra part I added to the side of the front piece would make up for the back piece. So now I want us to create the actual armhole. Remember that I said the previous armhole was just used for a guide for you to understand the pattern. So now I'm going to place my tape from the neck width here to mark 1 inch away, just 1 inch. And then I'll connect this point to the bust point line. Take note, I'm not connecting this point to the chest line, but I'm connecting it to the bust point line, and I'll be using the slightly curved side of my ruler. It's not too curved and it's not a straight line. So I'll be using the curved side of my ruler to connect these 2 points together. Now what I'm going to do next is to extend this line, this curved line, into the back piece. Make sure it's not too down, just extend it. Make sure that the curve is not going too down, but just extend it so that it aligns, right? So once you have done this, the next step is to also extend the M line at the bottom here into the back piece. So this is basically how to go about the back piece of this Halter Neck shirt. So guys, this is how easy it is to draft this particular style. So just pay attention to the areas that I'm cutting. So once you're done cutting out the shirt, this is how it should be. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to unpin the center front, and then I'll go ahead to slit the fold open because this is where the button would be tacked. So it's time for us to start stitching. So what I'm going to do now is to separate both pieces from each other, and then I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine to fix the center front by folding the center front in by 1.5 inches, and then I'll fold the edges in by just half of an inch. I'll head over to the sewing machine to stitch the edges all the way down, and then I'll repeat the same sewing process on this other piece as well. So you fold by 1.5 inches, and then you go ahead to fold the inner part by just half of an inch. You stitch all the way down. So to make it easy, you can actually use your pressing iron to do this before stitching. So I've gone ahead to stitch the fold properly, and this is how it should be. Now I'll head over to the sewing machine to stitch about 1/4 of an inch away from the center fold so that it comes out really nice. And I'll do the same on this other piece as well. After stitching very close to the center fold, you can see how fine and neat it is, right? So this is basically how it should be at the center. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to stitch the armhole by folding it half of an inch and further folding by half of an inch. And you head over to the sewing machine to stitch all the way to this point, and then you'd also stitch the hem by folding it half of an inch and further folding it by half of an inch, and you repeat the same sewing process for this other piece as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch the armhole, and I've also stitched the bottom of both pieces, and you can see how neat it is. Right, so the next thing we are going to be working on is the collar. So at this point I need your 100% attention. So recall that when I measured the neck width initially, it was 2.5 inches when I was drafting, right? So because of that, I will assume that the neck width for the back of this shirt is 2.5 inches. Remember, it's an alternate, so I'm assuming that it's 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to place this 2.5 inches above the shoulder of the front piece. You can see what I'm doing, and then I'll place my tape measure on standing to calculate or to measure the round neckline for the front, and altogether this is 9 inches. So it is assumed that The back is 2.5 inches, and I measured it all the way to the front neckline, which made it 9 inches. And this 9 inches is just for one side of the shirt. So we are also going to be using 9 inches again for the second side of the shirt, so it's equal. So 9 plus 9 is 18 inches. This simply means that the neckline for both the front piece and the back piece is 18 inches altogether. So now I'm going to be working with a gum stay, or you can use a collar stay, any which one. So the first thing we're going to do is to fold the gum stay into two, and then I'm going to draw a straight line at the bottom here. I would like to work with the bishop part of the collar first. So since the neck measurement is 18 inches, I'll divide the 18 inches into two, and that will be 9 inches. I place this on the straight line to mark 9 inch. Now at this point here, I'm going to come up by half of an inch, and then on this straight line, I'm going to divide it into two to mark the midpoint, and then I'll connect both points together this way, and this would be a little bit slanted, right? Now the height of the collar is 1 inch. I place my tape on the straight line all the way here to mark 1 inch, and then I would connect all the points together. So this is how easy it is to make the bishop part of this collar. Now for the upper part of the collar, I'm going to place my tape measure to mark 9 inches because I want to create a straight line as well. So the height of the collar here would be 2.5 inches. So I'll place my tape from the straight line to mark 2.5 inches. Now I'm going to draw a straight line across this point I marked. Now for the collar spread, I'll place my tape at the top here to mark 1 inch, and then I'll connect it into this edge. Now I'm going to also mark half of an inch here at the center fold to connect it to this point, using the curved edges of the ruler. So this is actually very easy to do. So just make sure you pay attention to the area I'm cutting, right? So I'm just going to go ahead to use my scissors to cut this out now. So guys, this is basically how you should arrange your collar after cutting. So I'm just going to go ahead to put the harrow down and put this harrow up, which simply means that they should be stitched together in that arrangement exactly. So what you're going to do now is to place this gum stay on your actual fabric to cut out, but you need to add extra half of an inch by the sides of each, just like I've done here, and also make sure that the fabric is doubled. That is, the fabric is into two. That's the actual fabric is into two. Now I'm going to go ahead to gum the gum stay, yes, on the fabric. That's the wrong side of the fabric. I'm using my iron to do this. Now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine to stitch the top part of this collar following the direction. After stitching, I turn the collar to the right side of the fabric and I give it a quick press. Now I'm going to top stitch the collar quarter of an inch away from the edges. So I've top stitched the collar, and then I'm going to fold the collar into two to notch the center, and take note of how I'll be placing the collar. Now for the bishop collar, I'm also going to fold it into two to notch the center. Now you'd notice that the arrow on that white gum stay is just for you to understand how to place your collar. So I flipped the top collar opposite the notched part of the upper collar. Now I'm going to take one of the pieces away, and then I'll place the collar this way. You can see what I did here. Please pay attention to everything I'm doing, right? So now I'm going to replace this back. I would head over to my sewing machine to stitch the edges by half of an inch following the direction. After stitching, I turned the collar to the right side of the fabric and I gave it a quick press. So what we are going to be doing next is just to attach the collar to the neckline of the shirt. So to do this properly, you're going to fold in the edges of the collar here by half of an inch inward. So you're also going to fold the other side by half of an inch, and then you use your pressing iron to iron it properly so that the fold stays intact. All right, so once you've done this, the next thing you want to do is to attach the collar to the shirt. It's very easy to do. So let's go ahead to do that now. Now I'm going to bring the pieces of the shirt here, and then I would insert the neckline into the fold by half of an inch. Make sure you're doing this by half of an inch. You can use your pin to hold this down so it doesn't shift. Once you've done that, you would also bring the second piece of the shirt to insert the neckline into the collar. You can see that I'm inserting it by the end, right? Then I'll head over to my sewing machine to make a straight stitch on it this way. So guys, after stitching the collar, you can see how neat it is. It's very beautiful, honestly. So what we are going to do now is to close the center back. And to do this, make sure you've already sewn your strap. So these are the straps here. This is center back, right? I'm going to be taking about 2 inches, folding 2 inches, and then at the edge I'll fold it by half of an inch to insert the strap at the top of the center back. Take note of that. Now I'll head over to my sewing machine to stitch the edges straight down from the top here. After stitching, I would repeat the same stitching process on this side. So I forgot to tell you, the strap I used, I think the length of the strap was 36 inches, while the width of the strap was just 3 inches. Now I'm going to insert the strap into the fold here and then make a straight stitch all the way from the top down. After stitching the center back with the strap, this is how it should be. Now I'm going to push the strap forward this way, that's towards the front, and then this is how it's going to be. Now the next thing I need to do is to stitch directly on the center back here. I would start by stitching this way so that I can hold down the strap properly, and I'll repeat the same stitching process on this other side as well. After you have secured the straps properly, the next step is to mark the points you want the buttons and the buttonhole to be fixed. So I've gone ahead to mark the first point at the top of the collar. From there, I kept a distance of 3 inches, and I would continue keeping a distance of 3 inches, like intervals. And I'll repeat the same thing on the other side of the center front. So once I'm done, I'll go ahead to tack my buttons and also create the buttonhole. So guys, thank you for watching to the very end. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please turn on your notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified when I upload new tutorials, and also please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.